And part of the wisdom beyond or behind obligating fasting among the Muslims is the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal is testing us. How is Allah is testing us? See, everything else you do, people usually can judge you. So if you pray, people see you pray. If you go to Hajj, to pilgrimage, people see you going to the pilgrimage. If you give zakat, the poor are receiving money and you are getting money out of your bank account. So everybody can see that. When you fast, it is not something you do. It is something you do not do. And that is, you refrain. And it is one of the greatest forms of worship that expresses your sincerity to Allah Azza wa Jal and your full obedience and observance that Allah Azza wa Jal is observing you. How is that? When I'm in the toilet performing wudu, the first thing I do is to turn the water in my mouth. It's hot, humid, I'm thirsty. What is the thing that causes me to spit out the water that I was just turning in my mouth? It is the fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. When a woman is cooking in her kitchen and she takes a taste, without swallowing it, of course, to find whether the salt is okay or not, who's watching if she takes a whole morsel and takes few bites here or there? No one knows, but she knows that Allah Azza wa Jal is watching over her. And likewise, this child who can take candy and eat under the bed or in the cupboard or wherever, but he doesn't because he knows and acknowledges that Allah Azza wa Jal is watching him. So one of the greatest reasons behind or wisdoms behind fasting of Ramadan is the fact that you acknowledge Allah is watching you, and this is a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. Why was it called Ramadan? Beautiful name, short, quick, easy to remember. Why was it called Ramadan? There are a number of linguistic interpretations, and the most famous one is because when they gave the names to the 12 months of the year, Ramadan happened to be in summer, and it originates from the heat of the stones and the rocks and the floor. So they called it Ramadan. And fasting Ramadan is one of the things that admits you to paradise. Fasting in general is something that is rewardable. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, whoever fasts one day in the cause of Allah, for the sake of Allah, fi sabilillah, Allah Azza wa Jal would further his face from hellfire the distance of 70 years. How far would a traveler travel in 70 years? Allah would further and depart your face away from hellfire this far. And this is if you fast one day for the cause of Allah. Scholars say that this is a day that is voluntary. So you do the math. What would Allah Azza wa Jal do for you if you fast for His sake and anticipating for the reward a whole month for the sake of Allah, which is obligatory and mandatory? Definitely it has a great reward. Allah Azza wa Jal has put a gate in paradise and called it Ar-Rayyan. So we have 8 gates for paradise, 7 for hell. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect me and you from hellfire. The gate that, one of the gates, the big, huge gates that is a distance of maybe 40 years between them when the gates, doors are open. It is called Ar-Rayyan. And this is only for those who fast. So imagine you being called from that gate with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal. So this beautiful month of Ramadan has lots of virtues, and fasting in general has lots of virtues, and the more we learn about it, the easier it gets. So now if someone is watching us in Birmingham or in Finland as one of the brothers called me from Finland a few days ago, saying that they fast like 21 hours. And it is difficult. I'm not saying that. I fast here in Saudi Arabia for 16, 17 hours, and some of us may find it difficult. I don't, alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah. But some may find that difficult. So what about if it's 21 hours? This means that they have only 3 hours to break their fast, have their sahur, pray their taraweeh, and this is too little. However, this is what Allah has decreed upon them, and once they know the reward behind it, and once they recognize how much Allah Azza wa Jal has given them, they will find, with the grace of Allah, the virtues, and they will find it easy for them to anticipate, insha'Allah.